Yes, good afternoon, good morning, good evening. Welcome, Retrospectrum Gaming's Ewan Spence here. And as I record this, between two Formula One Grand Prix, the Austrian Grand Prix and the second Austrian Grand Prix in 2020 to open up the season, although the second one is called the Styrian Grand Prix. They're both taking place on the same track, the Osterreichring, or the Red Bull Arena, whatever they want to call it. But everybody who knows the history knows it's the Osterreichring in Austria. So, in honor of two Grand Prix, I thought I would look at two Grand Prix games on the ZX Spectrum. Later on, we are going to be having a run round the Osterreichring circuit on Nigel Mansell's Grand Prix. But before that, we are going to start off with the absolute classic. Yes, Psion's Chequered Flag, one of the first racing games on the ZX Spectrum, certainly the first one I had, and I suspect the same is true for a lot of people as well. One of the interesting things about Chequered Flag was the tracks that were available. Now, while there were some incredibly, well, let's have a look. While you had such delights as Micro Drive and Saturn Sands, you also had a couple of tracks that will be more familiar. Brands Hatch is in there, and you have Monaco. Scion Park, I'm not quite sure what that's meant to be. It's, Monza, we all know that one. Paul Ricard was Formula 1, then not Formula 1 is back in again. Silverstone in its classic, not the classic layout because that's where the two runways cross. Cambridge Ring, who's that one? But the one we are interested in here, as you can tell, is the Osterreichring, the Austrian Grand Prix. And this is pretty much the track that they are going to be running on for the 2020 Grand Prix opener. The only difference is at the end of the start-finish line, you'll see here we've got this little right, left, right chicane. In the remodel track, this is just an up the hill and into a sweeping right hand. But other than that, this is going to be the same track running at the weekend. Space to select, then enter. I've talked so much, it's put me into the demo mode. So, we'll come back out of that there again. It's nice though, Spectrum give it the demo mode. But, hey, we got time for that one. Space to slide. Osterreichring. Enter. Enter number lots. We're going to do 3. So here we are. McFaster Special. Psion Pegasus. First one with gears. Ferretti. Turbo. That's got big engine and you've got to really handle the gears on that one. But we're going to go for McFaster Special. Good old standard car. We don't need to worry about the gears in this one, which is fine because we've got 4. It's all on keyboard. This is pre-Kempston days. So you've got accelerate, and brake, and you've got slow left and slow right on S and D in the keyboard, fast left and fast right as the F and the A key. So basically, it's your hand kind of like lays down on them, your 4 fingers, and that's your steering controls. And you've got your throttle up here. Right, so the sweeping hills. Just dodge right there. There's no other cars in the track. Psion's Chequered Flag is essentially a time trial. But just to make things a little bit more interesting, you do have some debris on the track, like glass and stones and water. You have a church at the side as well for some strange reason. There's some shallow curves in that top straight. Running into a tight right-hander to go on the sort of inside the hand part of the track. A little bit too fast into there. Picking up the damage. Yeah, so we are just all over the shop. Track limits are right there. Bring some of that short stumpy back straight. Last corner here. Just duck out the way of their pit lane entrance in the new track would actually be there. We are... Oh, it wasn't there, it was a corner right. Anyway, right. Okay, we're in right, left, right at the end of the start finish line. And we are on our pit lap. Push that up, push that up. Shallow curve, get ready on the brakes. Bring it all the way back down. Stop the airline fracture. Right, okay, there we are. Open up. Back straight. What we're about 133 to beat. accelerate out. Steer left into the corner. I actually steered right there. 3:36. That's Checkered Flag. It's very narrow road on that one. Delightful fast turn and slow turn in both directions, all against the clock. Early Spectrum games on no joystick support. You also couldn't save your times off as well, so you kind of had to write them down on a bit of paper, but that was true of all of them. And for its time, you remember this is like the first rush of Spectrum, second rush of Spectrum games actually. So you're talking about late '83 for this one. So all the information learned on things like Flight Simulator and Science AI stuff all piled into this one as well. And I remember just pounding round these circuits when I was younger, and this was the one, and it was always a Monaco and Silverstone night shows. Brands Hatch always felt like a weird layout to me. I didn't get that one. Monaco was just such a tight packed track, I never could get the hang of it. A bit like Real Rifley. But Osterreichring, it's fair enough. But now, let's have a look at that later on in the Spectrum's history. Nigel Mansell's Grand Prix. Now, previously on the channel, we've looked at Nigel Mansell's World Championship, arguably the last Spectrum Grand Prix game, with Checkered Flag being the first. But it was so lifelike and realistic, the Austrian Grand Prix wasn't on the calendar at that point. So we've had to go back to Nigel Mansell's previous license from 1988, which is Nigel Mansell's Grand Prix, relatively simple title on that one, which does have the Osterreichring, and it's in the old configuration as well, so we've got that little chicane at the top of the start-finish straight. So let's dive in for a lap of the same track a couple of years later with more programming knowledge, more advancement, more excitement. Okay, so we get some details on the track. Qualifying time 100 seconds smack, which is 1 minute 40. So slightly slower than the actual Grand Prix. So practice session. And you can immediately see we've got that same sort of full dash and information, but here we've got things that actually do stuff. So we've got the turbos, we've got oil pressure and temp. You can actually see fuel, water. You can actually see the gearbox, the turbo button. But most importantly, you've got far more numbers, as you can see in the onboard computer. So let's get underway. You don't have any option for automatic gearbox in this. You will be using gears. Fire up to go up, fire button to go down. And thankfully all the circuit knowledge we gained on Checkered Flag we can use here again. And I've already done a couple of practice laps here to try and work out where the braking points and everything are. Not enough though, as you can see. So we're in that sort of same rolling road loop. This is a terrible opening lap. This is terrible. It's like I'm driving a Ferrari, not a Williams. Yeah, also in Nigel Mansell's Grand Prix, you were only ever going to be driving a Williams. You don't have choice of any other cars. You've always got the Canon sponsorship on the back of the car. Okay. Slight going up the hill in the new turn 2. Top of the hill, turn 3. Bring us around there. So you can see a couple of differences. We've got cars on the tracks now. We've got that rolling road effect, which by this point we've seen the likes of Weck Lemon and Chase HQ to Power Drift to a certain extent. So sort of paradigms of what you would expect to see in a Spectrum racing game are pretty much set at this point. One thing that's clear though is this is far less arcadey, even than Weck Lemon, which has got a really good balance. This, you know, you're going to be managing gears, you're going to be managing the turbo. We've got it turned right down at the moment so we don't crash the car and do anything stupid. But when we come right the second lap, we'll crank the turbo up. Okay, around we go. And we're now going to come in into a long right-hander, which is now track turns 9 and 10 at the Grand Prix. That will take us, hopefully, if I've got this right, onto the start-finish line. There we go. Let's whack the turbo out full. And let's completely miss up our braking. So that... Apparently not, no. Oh no, there we go, we just went on the inside there, okay. Around we go. It's a lot more responsive. The car turns a lot more here. And it certainly feels snappier than Chequered Flag. You don't have... Yeah, you can pick out those braking points just a little bit easier. Okay, I've got turbo on, so we're just going to lean off a little bit on that back straight kink. Oh, and we're just going to too hot into there. Okay, right, caught that. Lovely. Good, good, good. Still got full beans going on the turbo. Take us round 5th in the back. Okay, left, right. We'll just drop down a little touch on the speed. Drop the 4 to a shake and bake acceleration. Bring it round. Turns 9-10 combo. On the back, on the start finish line, and we are gone. So there we have our 2 Austrian Grand Prix on the ZX Spectrum. I'm going to go back to talk about Chequered Flag first as a sort of recap. And it was one of the first driving games, and it got pretty close. It got a road, it got the moving things at the side, it got relatively good handling, but it's clearly a first attempt, and there are lots of things that just aren't there. There aren't any opposition cars. You're literally doing it as a time trial, but there's a reason that I played that endlessly when I was younger, and that was it was a racing game and I could be a Formula 1 driver. And I have a lot of great memories for it. I still have a lot of great memories for it. There's a huge rush of nostalgia on Chequered Flag, and in those early days, you got to think back to the sort of games that were coming out there. It was 3D. It was moving fast graphics. It was bright in color. It was from at that point the name you looked for in the box. There was Psion for your simulator stuff. There was Ultimate for your things like Jetpack. So this was another smash hit coming out of there. And okay, it's a bit... Oh, we just put some debris on the road as the obstacles. But I will not have a bad word said against Chequered Flag for its time. Has it aged in terms of gameplay? Yeah, quite a bit, which is where comes in from Nigel Mansell. And again, this is a title that I played a ridiculous amount, mostly because it was in a Your Sinclair cover tape, which meant it was free. And yeah, I did do a full Grand Prix of this, going through all the circuits, the practices, the qualifying, and the races over a weekend, and it was fabulous. It was... when you looked at Formula 1, it was quite technical in those days. It's even more technical now. But I was getting into more of the timings, the engines and all of that. And Nigel Mansell Grand Prix reflected that. Not only that, it was just really good in terms of the circuit and the knowledge. And you could pick out braking points and you could try to go a little bit later. There was much more feel of you could make a difference while you were driving. Chequered Flag, it's like, there you go, as long as you don't hit anything, you'll get a faster time. And in Nigel Mansell, it's, you've got to drive a better lap. You've got to hit the braking points, you've got to turn in properly. And yeah, sure, the car graphic is probably its weakest point. It's like one of those old plastic overlays in the little Tommy Drivey car game, or Pole Position. That car doesn't really reflect the left and right, but it's an easy thing just to sort of figure out in your brain and just imagine that as a steering wheel position or something, so you get over that quite quickly. It really is just... Both of them are fabulous games. Both of them are fabulous in different ways. Much like, hopefully, the 2 Formula 1 Grand Prix we're going to have. They're both going to be fabulous, and they're both going to be different, and they're both going to have different bits of value. Recommendations have to go for both of them in terms of nostalgia and memories. But if you're looking for something to actually play, to get a rewarding gameplay experience, I don't think it's going to come as much surprise that the later title, which has more knowledge of the spectrum involved, better ways of programming, more idea of what you want in a gameplay on a home 8-bit computer. Nigel Mansell Grand Prix has got a little bit more pull to keep you in there. But as I said, Chequered Flag just brings back the memories every single time. Go out, experience them both, find out which one you like better. Let me know in the comments what you do remember. As I said, with it being on a YS tape, I think there's going to be a lot of love for Nigel, and Chequered Flag is Chequered Flag. I think everybody has a copy on that one. So, watch the Grand Prix this weekend if you're a Formula One fan. Watch the replay of last weekend. If you're watching this in the future, who knows what's happening with the racing. I'm Ewan Spence. This has been Retro Spectrum Gaming, which you'll find us at facebook.com/Retro Spectrum Gaming, here at youtube.com/Retro Spectrum Gaming, and you'll find me personally twitter.com/Ewan. Thanks for watching. Subscribe, like, love, etc., 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 and please exclude the beard. It would be quite nice, quite going on. Please excuse the beard continuity. I know it's all over the shop. Ta-ra for now. Have you enjoyed this video? Would you like to see more? Before you click through to watch something else, why not follow the link to help me make more fun reviews, clips and content?